Think about your favorite content creator. Whose channel do you open in a separate tab when you're supposed to be working? Picture them. Picture their content. Got it? Cool. Now, I have another question for you. Why do you like them? What makes their content so great? I'm personally picturing someone right now as well, but instead of telling you who, let me tell you why I like them. This person's videos make me laugh. Oftentimes I learn something, and they come across as somebody that I would be friends with. And these are probably some of the same reasons that you love your favorite creator. Notice how all of the things that we love about our favorite creators rarely have anything to do with their camera equipment. And that brings me to the one thing I really want you to take away from this lesson, which is your equipment doesn't matter. Memorize this, print it out, stick it on your fridge, text it to your mom, do whatever you need to do to cement this in your brain like the Pythagorean theorem. Your equipment doesn't matter. Most people who already have their channel direction and video idea get stuck on this thought. They think, I can't start until I have a fancy camera and lighting and audio equipment. But these things aren't what make a great video. There are viral videos all over the internet that have technical imperfections. People will watch you because of your ideas, your story, your personality, not whether or not you bought an $800 lens. Fancy equipment is not going to give you more subscribers than low-budget solutions. But I know there's a part of you that's still thinking, okay, thanks for telling me that equipment doesn't matter, but I still need to get equipment and I don't know where to start looking. So to ensure that you spend as little time as possible on this step, I'm gonna give you all of my personal recommendations. So hear me out and then spend no more than one day figuring out all of your equipment necessities. Honestly, you could probably get it done in about an hour if you really wanted to. So here's where to start. Pick a budget and stick to it. Don't overthink it, just think about how much you can afford, how much you're willing to spend on this stuff, and then stick to that budget. Hypothetically, if you wanted to spend $50 on everything, you could do that. So first, let's start with sound. Sound is more important than video quality. Counterintuitive, I know, but if your video quality is amazing and your sound is bad, audiences are more likely to react negatively. How annoying is it to watch a video that sounds like this? Would you want to watch this for 5 minutes? That is why sound is so important. Fortunately, most microphones that are built into a camera these days are pretty decent. And here, I'll show you. This is the sound that we get from using the onboard microphone in our camera. As you can see, it's not horrible. You can still hear me clearly and understand exactly what I'm saying. But let's say you want to record something from really far away. What if you're shooting in a place where it's really noisy? Luckily, you don't have to make a big investment to fix these problems. Here's a solid and inexpensive sound setup: your smartphone and a lav mic. Lav mics, short for lavalier microphones, are perfect for picking up sound from an individual person like I'm doing right now. But we've also filmed a ton of videos where we chatted with strangers on the street and the lav mics were able to pick up their voices really well too. So here's how it works. This is a lav mic. You plug this part into your phone. The sounds gets picked up from this microphone that's clipped onto your shirt or taped under your shirt, and you record the audio from the voice recorder app on your phone that's already on there. And that's where the sound gets picked up. The phone records that sound via your voice recorder app. This is a solid step up from your onboard camera audio. And this mic right here only costs $20. So if you're going to buy anything, I recommend that you buy a lav mic that you can hook up to your phone. If you're cheap or just straight up broke, then you can use the headset that came with your phone. You can get these for about $5 if you don't have a headset. And this has a microphone on it that you can kind of tape under your shirt. It's a little bit janky to do that, but if you don't have any money, that's an option too. And the mic on here is actually not bad. Now, I do have one important tip for those of you using a lav mic for the first time. Here's what you need to know about the setup. Your audio and video files will be separate, so you need to combine them when you edit. To make it easier, when you start recording on both devices, call out the slate and then clap. So for example, shit white girls say, take 2. That way, when you start editing, you can easily line up the sound waves so everything is perfectly in sync. A lot of editing programs even have a feature that syncs it automatically for you. So again, just one thing to keep in mind when you're recording audio separately. Now, if money isn't an issue for you, then I would recommend the Sennheiser EW112P wireless lav system, which currently sells for a little bit over $600. I do want to stress that this is absolutely not necessary. When we started our first YouTube channel, we were using the phone and $20 lav mic combo for a very long time. And we didn't upgrade to the wireless system until we had hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So that's how far a $20 setup can get you. Next, let's talk about your video quality. Remember, this isn't as important as sound specifically on YouTube. If you can afford to upgrade your camera, cool. If not, don't worry about it. So I'll give you 3 options: no budget, low budget, and high budget. Let's start with the no budget. If you have $0 to spend, then use the camera on your phone, which is what I'm using now. This is the new iPhone 7 camera. Now I'm using an older iPhone 5. And now I'm using an Android phone called the Moto Z. As you can tell, all these phones look pretty good. But if you've got some cash in your pocket that you want to spend, there are some small advantages to getting a mid-range option. So let's see what that camera looks like. What I'm using right now is the Canon PowerShot 190. It's a point-and-shoot camera. It's really good for vlogging, filming workout videos, filming cooking videos, pretty much anything that you need a portable camera for. Now, if video quality is really important to you, maybe you're an aspiring filmmaker, or you want to make music videos for a big artist, or you just want to do a lot of color correction and go for a certain look, or if you're just filthy rich from your grandpa's trust fund, then consider getting a DSLR. DSLRs provide the best looking images without getting into studio grade cameras. So I personally like to use the Canon 70D. This is also what Casey Neistat uses. The quality on the 70D is incredible, and it gives you a lot of flexibility in post-production as well. It's very versatile in both still photography and video recording, and it has a fast autofocus feature for on-the-go shooting. A lot of camera enthusiasts look down on autofocus, but look, unless you're trying to get some Hollywood level shots, autofocus is going to be your best friend when you're starting out. DSLRs come in 2 parts, the body and the lens. And you can buy the body for around $900 as of right now, and a good lens for about $300. I like to use a 18 to 135 millimeter. Now, let's talk about editing software. This is something people kill themselves over. And let me try to make this decision as stress-free as possible for you. If you have no budget, just use a free editing software like iMovie or Windows Movie Maker. Free programs like these are actually very useful and are usually packed with more than enough features for you to edit on. In fact, we're gonna edit the rest of this video using iMovie starting from right now, and I guarantee you're not going to notice a difference. If you're someone who needs higher end features for whatever reason and have some cash to spend, then I would recommend Adobe's Premiere Pro simply because it's currently the industry standard. And if you're on a Mac, Final Cut Pro X is a really great option as well. Final Cut Pro was built to work perfectly with Apple hardware, and because of that, stabilization, rendering, and exporting is much faster. Now, I'm not gonna teach you how to use these programs because video editing basics is something you can learn pretty much anywhere. Just do a quick search on Google or YouTube, and there are tons of different tutorials to choose from. As you're doing your research on these things, don't forget that the most important thing is to not get hung up on what equipment to buy or what software to use. The most important thing is to just start. Again, your equipment does not matter. Your content does.